Hello. I want to talk with you today about AEC paragraphs. We use AEC paragraphs throughout all of our curriculum in the 7th grade and all of the curricula that span 6th grade through 10th grade. So AEC is very foundational for us. We begin to introduce writing assertions or topic sentences in effective assertions and topic sentence lessons that we've just completed. But now we want to move forward into an AEC paragraph, just to give you a quick overview of what we mean when we say to write an AEC paragraph. We have several things here on the screen just to show you what does A, E, and C stand for. Well, assertion is the same thing as the topic sentence. And then the E is for evidence. And this is text-based evidence. Facts found in the text to support the assertion that was just given or written. So we're going to move forward through this a little bit, but a little quick connection here. The evidence has to support the assertion. Whatever the assertion is saying, then the text supports that. The commentary, this evidence, remember we said that there would be no quotes in the topic sentence. Well, evidence is definitely where we have our quotes. Commentary is the why part. Commentary is the opinion, where the students can give their opinion about why they think that this particular evidence that they're giving. So the commentary is the why that this evidence supports this assertion. It's almost a proof. You're trying to prove why this evidence supports this assertion. So it's the why. In our curriculum, we have several places where we have this AEC Paragraph Planner. We will be using it with Jamestown Lifescape in the first 9 weeks. And this planner is available in that particular section, that part of the lesson. This is the assertion. It looks a little different than just when we said, well, a color would be great. When we just said A, E, C. This is more of a planner. It's a thinker. It's not necessarily in paragraph form per se. So that gives them a place to write their assertion. And then it gives them a place to give their evidence from this text and to begin learning how to write those MLA citations. So it could be a quotation. And again, we want to encourage them not to let the whole sentence be a quotation, but to learn to insert that quotation effectively within a sentence. And then commentary, again, we talked about it's the how and the why. It proves this assertion, so to speak. And again, it's your opinion, and you have chosen this evidence to support your assertion. So let's be clear. You can have more than just an assertion, one sentence for the assertion, one sentence for the evidence, and one sentence for the commentary. Obviously, we can have larger than 3-sentence paragraphs. So we have some additional space for the students to think about writing additional ones. It could be an AEC, EC. Now, again, we would not have to restate the assertion, of course, but we might have additional evidence. So very often, our students might be asked to write a 5-sentence paragraph, which would entail an assertion, evidence, commentary. This commentary supports that piece of evidence, a new piece of evidence, and then this commentary supports the new piece of evidence. So kind of like evidence 1, commentary 1, like we have here. We have example 1. Well, that is for our evidence. And then C is giving me a comment 1 and comment 2. Well, that's for my commentary. And I might make more than one comment about each piece of evidence. Then I might give a totally new piece of evidence, a second piece. And then I would give additional commentary. So we want the format to be the same. We're going to make an assertion. And then we are going to provide evidence, give some commentary, more evidence, give more commentary, and then you could even continue evidence commentary another time or so. Let's get rid of all of that. This is a great planner for your students to understand how they need to think about organizing their paragraphs. Now, in our last lesson, there was in the last section of the lesson, after they had done the annotation of Annabelle Lee, they were asked to identify some good topic sentences. And there was a place for them to write, to practice writing a good topic sentence. Something might be good for them to work in their small groups or pairs, or maybe have all of them brainstorm. In this particular class, the teacher chose to do this whole group after there was a good bit of brainstorming. And so several groups or pairs came together, and this is the culmination. So everyone ended up, and let me go back here to some sample AECs. Just jumped away from me there. So the entire group ended up using the same assertion. Well, obviously their paragraphs were different except for the assertion. It just gave them that level of comfort that they already knew where they were going with their paragraph, and it just gave them a good foundation. They didn't worry that they were going in the wrong direction. So they wrote, now our last thesis statement, I believe, did not include imagery. So we added that in to give them something besides diction or repetition to talk about, since there were so many good examples. So we wrote a topic sentence about imagery in the poem Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. And it was a great place for them to just do a quick little practice, right? And imagery, well, that was my concrete part there, reveals Poe's obsessive fantasy of their perfect love relationship. So this was the abstract part there. So it was a good topic sentence, very basic, but it allowed students a good bit of leeway with imagery. So let's look and see a few examples. Don't judge the writing, don't judge the spelling. These are true student samples, so you're going to see a few mistakes here and there. These are not perfect by any means. These are first attempts. Remember, in the first 9 weeks of 7th grade, with students that have never written AEC paragraphs, they had no idea what we were doing. So they're trying, they were trying to learn here. I just use these to show you what you might see. So there's assertion, and if you'll notice, all of them use the exact same assertion. So that's their A. And notice also, we asked them to do this to show their AEC, EC, so that we knew exactly what they were trying to write so that we could give them better feedback. You might choose to do the same thing. We find it's very beneficial. So evidence, and notice they're learning to use the quotes. There is no citation here. Again, they're just learning to insert a quote in a sentence. And so the next time we do AECs, we will start using a little bit of MLA citation. So whenever Poe says Kingdom by the Sea, there's his evidence from the text, Kingdom by the Sea. Well, here's the commentary that's supposed to support that. So the Kingdom by the Sea, he thinks their love is stronger than anybody else's. And the explanation that we received here is they felt that a kingdom was something that was very strong. And that was why the commentary made sense. Again, these are first efforts, don't judge. Then there's this one, My Beautiful Annabelle Lee. And this is the most beautiful person. So again, opinion that supports that evidence. And all of that is talking about this perfect love relationship and his obsessive fantasy. Again, you can see this over here as well. Uses imagery, deep love, and Kingdom by the Sea was also used, but notice they're totally different sentences. Of course, Annabelle, bless her heart, was misspelled there. I believe the phrase is likely used to describe their house, or is a dream house. I think a girl wrote this. So their kingdom by the sea was a literal thing. It was somewhere that they lived or wanted to live. Again, girl here. And we're talking about her beauty and beautiful Annabelle. Now, see, this one is a little bit off right here. The quote should be here. And again, I show you this just so that you know how to talk about these kind of things with your students. The quote should be in the evidence, not in the commentary. So that should be moved completely. Otherwise, it would be fine. So, and let me figure out all of those. Again, this is the same little thing. This is, again, just very quick, just to see what they would maybe do. Same assertion, same assertion. Used kingdom by the sea again. It was very popular. And this time said it was a metaphor for their love. And a little bit of misspelling there. In his mind, instantly becomes a kingdom, anywhere Annabelle might be. And lays by her side in. They were so grossed out about this that he laid by the tomb at the seashore, and they just thought that was just the grossest thing ever, though they loved it, of course. And let's see, he sleeps within the tomb, inner tomb by the sea, and they talked about this obsessive fantasy because he slept by her tomb again, and in envy and obsessive love that saying that the angels were jealous. So again, these are just a few examples that you are welcome to see how your students might begin their writing process in our first 9 weeks. Again, we will use the Aec paragraph many, many times throughout the 9 weeks and throughout the year and throughout our entire curricula, 6th grade through 10th grade, and moves right into AP writing. So let's lay a great foundation and teach them about assertion, evidence, and commentary. And I hope this helps get you started.